I mean, hey, great Wednesday morning. I went inside her house a little bit, like I eat a salad and stuff. But I see, like, oh, come look at the house. Because I think she said, oh, come look at the house. We're like, why? I don't care. It's just a house.
You're so rude.
No, it's not rude. I just don't care. Mhm. I had to make coffee this morning because I didn't get to go to the coffee shop. I went to Walmart as I go every morning, and I went to Walmart and I forgot my wallet. This guy changed pants finally after 3 weeks.
Did you shower?
Huh?
You showered? You showered?
I'm tired.
You showered?
I showered finally. I shower every day, aunque no lo necesite. Me baño todos los días. No, I went to Walmart this morning. Every single morning, that's my routine. I wake up at 6:45, take a shower, watch a little bit of news maybe, y luego me arranco al Walmart. I do my walk around to see if, not my reach around, my, I walk around and I see what's on sale. They have like stuff on clearance. And sometimes they don't hit the mark. Like they had these toys, like these Paw Patrol toys that was supposedly like for $50. They were down to like $24. But it's going like, I still don't think it's worth $24. If it was like $15, I would have probably bought like a crap load of them. But I just don't get. I don't understand why anyone would buy them at 50. I still don't understand why somebody would want those toys at 24. And definitely not going to understand. I'm on the show. Can you send me a rundown? Damn it. So I don't understand why people would spend that much money. And I think that's one of the things. Like they had these little cute little backpacks, but they were like freezer packs. Oh, they had these like little freezer packs. They were like little lunch pails that you could take like their refrigerator or something, and and they were like regular price $15. They were down to $8. Now they're down to $5. I still don't think that. Why would you want one? Because I buy them
Five
for
bucks?
huh?
5 bucks?
$5. But I buy them for kids in Mexico. I mean, kids in Mexico don't have money to buy that. Great Wednesday morning. It is an amazing morning in the city of Brownsville, and I was sharing with one my daily routine, and I usually go to the coffee shop at 8 o'clock. Have a cup of coffee, buy a little breakfast, and set up all my advertising things that I do because nobody else advertises for me on social media. And so I threw all that out and got to the decided just to come straight to the office because this morning because I forgot my wallet at the house. So I realized that Papa was leaving the house, so I called him. I said, "Can you bring me my wallet?" Of course, she charged me $100. He said, yes. Well, Papa is very sneaky. I go to me entrega la wallet, and I go back to pay for those vases. And then I went to Sam's and I bought those Cheetos. And then my sister, he sends me a message through my sister. Oh, he sent me a message to my sister. Oh, we found these lunch tables for children, for kids with the circle seat, like the ones they have at the cafeterias in schools. I found them for $50. I found two. Este, I said, well, buy them. She said, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. And Papa said for you to send the money for the tables. And we're like, why do I have to send the money for the tables? Um, Commissioner Roy de los Santos Commissioner Los Santos should be on in the next couple of minutes. Um, one of the things that good morning. Now you make me crave coffee. It's crazy. I love coffee, but I don't. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I crave coffee. I love coffee, but I tend not to be like I have the access to have coffee like every all day long, and I don't. I limit myself to one cup of coffee, and that's it. No mas. I don't even ask for refills, even when they're free. And that's surprising for me because I always want everything for free. Everything. Yes, last night, yesterday afternoon, I had a city commissioners meeting. We had we started super early. Someone had asked me about the city commission meeting. I said, someone asked me about the city commission meeting, and um, and I said, crap. Someone asked me about the city commission meeting, and I said, yeah, it's going to be at 5:30. Well, it wasn't at 5:30. It was at 2 o'clock. It was at 2 o'clock. And the reason that it was at 2 o'clock was because there was a lot of stuff on the agenda, which I hope we'll be able to talk to Commissioner Santos about in regards to uh, to what was on the agenda. I'd wanted to go to the meeting, but I actually work, unlike our city commissioners. I usually work, so well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So we'll see if what Commissioner Santos again, if he could. Again, I didn't get to watch the meeting, so he'll have like insight as to what transpired in the meeting. Uh, just to go off on another tangent, I have ultimately decided not to travel this month too much, so I'm going to be here the rest of the month. My next trip won't be till September, where I'll be going to Cuba. How's it going, Commissioner?
Going well. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. You look amazing this morning.
Thank you.
I mean, you usually look amazing, but today, como que te pasaste. So, how's life for Commissioner Roy Los Santos?
Well, as good as can be expected if you watch the meetings online.
I haven't. That's one of the reasons why we had you on, because I knew that there was some stuff on there that I actually wanted. I actually wanted. I thought it was weird that it started early. Started at 2 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Which I thought was weird in itself, because what happens is a couple people asked me about it, and I said it's going to start at 5:30, and then someone corrected me along the way and said no, that's what it was going to start at 2 o'clock, and I said like 2 o'clock. You said like that was just completely different, but we'll go into that in a bit. Last time I saw you, I think was at Broken Sprocket.
Yes, that's correct.
Let me tell you, it was a cool event.
Yes, I like that. I had a lot of fun.
I'm glad that you helped sponsor that event and some other company, right? Light company or something. I don't know what it was.
Prime Power Services.
What is that?
I don't know exactly. I know it's in the energy supply sector, but I could not tell you exactly what they do without going to their website and looking it up.
Are they are they like here in Brownsville? Are they trying to come into Brownsville?
Oh no,
Or,
they've been in Brownsville for years.
I
And
mean,
in fact, they've been sponsors at Sombrero Festival for many years. They do a lot of giveaways. I know at Sombrero they provided probably $10,000 worth of merchandise for kids toys for the Para Niños events throughout Sombrero Festival.
do they provide services to the city of Brownsville, or
No,
just for
not at all.
citizens of Brownsville?
Nope, I don't think so. So they are a substation and electrical services assembly, maintenance, and testing company.
You're reading that off line.
Yep, I am. I have to. Te digo. I'm like, I know the people, I know the company, but they're nobody that we do business with, so I did not know a lot about them.
Well,
And
it
I
was really
seen,
it was really interesting because, I love metal, and I shared and I shared with Commissioner Los Santos that I go to almost every Panteon event that they have
oh,
anywhere. I've actually went to see them in Monterrey. They're friends of mine. We grew
yeah.
up together. We grew up together aquí en La Polk. Somos de La Polca. And
Hmm.
we grew up together, so I do my best to follow him around and everything. Sometimes I usually dress like in the Panteon shirt and something, and then sometimes I'll go all pink and stuff. And, it's like standing out in a group of individuals
Yeah.
with black shirts and makeup and stuff. And Erasmo Castro wearing his no, I think my Messi shirt. I had my Messi my jersey, my Messi jersey. Not that it was Messi, my Messi, the soccer
The
player,
brand, yes.
the soccer player. But it was a great event. It was trippy, and again, because I knew the band. I Commissioner Santos, got there, and I said, "Hey, let me present you to the band and to the main band, Panteon." And so I went out there with Aron and I said, Aron, this is Commissioner Los Santos. Oh, thank you, very, very grateful. Muy bien. And with Humberto. Well, one of the things that I wanted to take away from it was, and I hope other people took away from it, was a lot of times, Commissioner, we tend to judge people like, mira, ese está vestido de negro y todo esto. And you would think like, try to stay away from these people. They're probably antisocial and stuff. I think
Yeah.
one of the things that you saw out there, it's completely not true. Uh,
Well, and the cool thing is I've got friends and I've had friends for years who are big metal fans. So and I'm used to seeing folks who just like you have different interests in music or art or anything else, you're going to find the same thing. So a lot of folks that I work with at Sombrero Festival are huge metal fans, and one of our main guys in operations for Sombrero, and he and I have done stuff together for years. He was one of my partners in the movie business, and we still own rights to scripts and intellectual property in movies that we work on together. He's a huge metal fan, him and his wife, and I was really happy to run into them there, and I wasn't surprised to run into them there at all. There's a few other friends of mine who I know are very, very big metal supporters and aficionados who I expected to see there but didn't get a chance.
well, let me say that I love metal. I've always have been. I mean, I like all types of music, but metal is one of my all time favorite. But we got there, and I wasn't planning on staying that late more than
Hmm.
anything because I'm getting older, and I like my rest and my sleep, and this face ain't going to protect itself out there in the elements, the moneymaker. So Commissioner Santos was going to go out to give a speech before everyone, and they said, Erasmo, will you introduce Commissioner Santos? I said, yeah. I mean,
We both look at each other. We're like, "Yeah, that's
I
awesome."
said, yeah, sure. I don't mind if Commissioner Santos doesn't mind. I have no issue with that. And the reason that they did that was because we have such a close relationship, and they said, and you probably know Commissioner Santos better than we do. And one of the things before we go into that, that's one of the things that I hope more individuals, out there in the community, be you metalheads, be you marihuanos, be you LGBTQ, everyone out there. I hope everyone out there goes out there and meets individuals that are representing this community as a whole, because it's made up of all of us,
Yes.
all of us. So I hope that more individuals, and I hope that my metalhead people out there, my headbangers, will take that into account. Guys, approach elected officials and ask them questions, and and share your concerns, and I'm sure that most of them, not all of them, would probably be very, very, very in tune with sitting down with you and conversing with you, which I think happened that day. We met up with con este Trevino, the guy that's in that performing arts thing, or the Browns or something.
Hmm.
Gabriel, he's also a friend of mine. But so I go up there and I say, oh, it's Commissioner Santos. Let me tell you, I got several calls and messages.
A poco?
They said like, "Why are you out there endorsing Commissioner Los Santos?" I said, "What?" I said, "What do you mean?" But I said, like, guys, what are you talking about? They said, "Well, yeah." I said, "We saw videos out there at the Broken Sprocket." It sounded like they asked me if I would introduce, and I would gladly introduce. I would
Mhm.
introduce the mayor of the city of Brownsville, although I disagree with almost every single one of the little policies that supposedly he's bringing up to the table. I would introduce him if I was asked to, guys. It's an
Mhm.
introduction. So I'm going like, what do you mean? I'm going like, guys, please tell me that you're not that dense. Tell me
There are folks out there that are that dense.
that.
It's just like I get it on my end, like, well, why do you go on at Osmo show? And I'm like, number one, we're friends. I'm like, at Osmo and I get together regularly for lunch. We get together for breakfast. I said, so we've got a good friendship. I said, but aside from that, he's got followers. They're citizens of Brownsville. If they have questions, they have a right to have them answered. And it shouldn't be that, well, no, we're not going to talk to y'all because you're viewers of an Osmo show. No,
Yeah.
every citizen has a right. And
Well,
that's why I work very hard to try and be the most accessible commissioner I can be.
well, and we disagree on a lot of things. That's
Of
one of
course.
the other things. And again, we can disagree on a lot of things. One of the things that I've disagreed with, I do not care for too much. I did not care for too much was the LGBTQ task force.
Yeah, LGBTQ plus is the official name of the task force.
Yeah, something like that. So I don't care for it much. I never cared for it before. It was like something like, why do we have a task force for every group out here? Again. But
Mhm.
let me tell you, Commissioner, I think I shared this with you. I had a concern recently because of what happened to one of our citizens here in the city of Brownsville that got on this Tinder or Grinder. I'm not sure which one of those applications, and
Yeah.
cocoread someone to go to a park, and the guy got beat up by four juveniles.
Mhm.
One of them being 17. So that one's the one, I think, the one that got the worst charges out of it. And one of the things that I actually went and addressed the task force, and I'm going to share two things with you, Commissioner. First of all, they had nothing on the agenda. There was nothing on there that I could say, and again, what are you doing? You've got a task force. You got a group out there. What are you doing? And again, nothing against the task force. It's just
Mhm.
if you're going to be eating up city resources because you are uh, with the task force. Well, I want to know what you're doing. I want to know that you're actually doing something. And I'll say, and again, and I hope I don't want hate mail from the LGBTQIA community. I don't want messages like, yo, you're homophobic or you hate, because I always get them. I don't want none of that crap. What I'm trying to say is if you're going to have a task force, do something, have an impact on the community. And I think they shared a couple of events that had happened in McAllen or something, or I don't know, something, but they had literally nothing on the agenda. I will say that that day a friend of mine was appointed to the task force, so I congratulated her, and I wish her well. So I'm hoping that she becomes a little bit more proactive in regards to doing something that I think they haven't been doing for a while. So I'm glad with that. But I shared my concern, and they were very, very receptive. And I said that I was going to follow up with different individuals, which I have. I've contacted BISD. I've contacted former TSE trustees. I don't have much in with the new trustees, but I want something. I want some way to come together as a community to bring awareness to these things, because people need to be very, very careful. Our geographical location is not a good location, Commissioner, for these types of applications. And I mentioned it that evening because of what happened with Kimberly. And
Mhm.
I would hope that more individuals would, do the old-fashioned way of trying to hook up, which I've completely forgotten what that was like. So
Yeah, they're no sock hops anymore, so I don't know how you can do that.
no more glory holes out there. We, but anyway, I just bring more awareness, guys. You don't have to go on these applications in order to hook up with individuals. I think it's kind of raunchy. I think and more than that, I think it's just dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And just continue. I hope that the city continues to bring awareness in some way or shape, and I hope the task force actually does something about it. As I just hope anyone does anything about it. But do you know of anything other that the task force is doing? By any chance?
Well, several things that they organized throughout the year just to promote awareness among the LGBTQ community and coordinating events that people can attend and that's something that we did see when I was a member of the task force before I was commissioner. Um, Events that we would host, especially those that were all ages. We would have families come, so parents of LGBTQ youth and LGBTQ youth, and they're just like, especially in the parents, when it comes to the parents, they're like, I've got a son or I've got a daughter who's this, and I don't know anything about that. Who can I talk to? Who can help me? And luckily, we have a network. So, and like now we've seen there's a lot of allies on the task force. So they're not none of them are members of the LGBTQ community, but they're allies to the community and are on the task force. And they've been resources where they can say, you know what, I've got a kid, the same situation, let's talk. And then you've got two parents in a similar situation. So it's putting people together like that. That's one of the big things the task force has been very successful at. And I know they're looking at several initiatives right now that organizations look at for cities, and they say, based on this criteria, we look at how friendly is a city when it comes to being sensitive to these issues. And they're looking on improving Brownsville's responsiveness in that respect.
Amazing. Great. Again, we'll be watching. Question: when does Lit Fiber expand past the Medicultural District? What's the point of me getting Instagram ads about it? About if I can't sign up, is there a timeline? I saw the crews working so much near my house.
I don't have the timeline, but it's not just in the Medicultural District. Some of the first customers that signed up are by the post office. They're not even in the downtown area. So I don't know what I don't know where that perception comes from.
Well, is it? Well, maybe again. Let me ask you: is there a timeline in regards to when all of Brownsville is going to be covered by this lit fiber?
Originally, it was by the end of 2025.
Okay. Are we going to meet that expectation?
I'd have to check with Lit Fiber to find out, and I know we'll be there at an event later this morning.
Good morning from Sunshine State. Good morning. Good morning. Also, when I'm getting my blue. When am I getting my blue trash can? I still got the ugly green ones. It was
What's the blue trash can for?
The trash cans. You know that were all green.
What's the difference?
I honestly don't know, but they were going to switch them to blue trash cans. I know.
Why?
I have no idea. I think one of our neighbors over there on Camino Verde, Commissioner. You still live on Camino Verde, right?
I've still got a house on Camino Verde.
We might talk about that, but it doesn't occur. But you know, I think one of my neighbors has a blue trash can. I'm going like, what the hell? Don't you know who I am? Why the hell have I got that blue trash can? I honestly don't care.
And it may be. I would like to think that with trash companies, as they buy new stock and inventory, that may be where the change in color is coming from. But to say, hey, let's go out and change the color of every trash can when the trash cans are still in good working order, we'll think about that's where higher rates come in. Oh, I want something new. I want something pretty, even though I've got two trash cans here. And yeah, they're older, but they're not leaking. They're not cracked. They're not broken. Why would I need them replaced?
We don't want any more increases in anything. Nada.
Yeah.
We have enough. And we'll talk about a little bit about. Good morning, Commissioner. It is time to start educating the community of the general obligation bonds for people to vote on. We don't want to happen the same as the MDD.
Agreed, but I don't think there's going to be any bonds going to the taxpayers to vote on.
Yeah.
I think that plan has been scrapped.
Awesome. Good information. Commissioner, yesterday we had a city commission meeting where I think, if you could correct me if I'm wrong, that the main focus was on campaign finance reform.
It became the focus of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just another city commission meeting, and this is where we had the second budget workshop, getting ready to vote on the budget for fiscal year 2025. But yeah, there were 3 new ordinances that were proposed that came out of the blue, and commissioners
they were approved, right?
2 of the 3 were.
And let me say, I called it yesterday and actually on Monday that the reason that these were being placed out there was for campaign finance reform. I've always been a proponent for campaign finance reform. Correct me if I'm wrong. As it reads now, any district can only spend $50,000 on their campaign.
That sounds correct. I'm going to pull up the language right now, so I've got the latest version.
And at large and mayor can only spend $100,000.
Right. That sounds right.
So you voted against this?
No, I voted that was the very last addition to the campaign finance reform ordinance.
Okay.
The campaign finance reform ordinance in its original form was now you're limited to donating $1,000 to a candidate every 2 years
For individuals
for individuals.
and for businesses and PACs,
For
2,500.
PACs, 2,500 every 2 years. And in addition to that, also, if a candidate is spending their own money, there's a limit on how much you can pay yourself back. So it's like, do you want to force candidates to spend their own money, or do you want to force candidates to seek donations? Which do we want it? But to say, well, now you can't accept bigger donations. Now you can't pay yourself back if you spend your own money. How hard are we trying to make it for people who don't have $1 million sitting in the bank to run for public office?
Okay, well, but okay, so you voted against all this or for it?
I voted against, and specifically because of those two reasons. Because I even spoke last night. I'm like, if we want to do this for reform and make it so that it's a level playing field and it's fair for everyone, then talking about limits on total amount that you can spend on a campaign is a reasonable request, and that's something I'm willing to have a discussion on. But the other two, to me, are unconstitutional. I think you're violating free speech when you're telling a person you can't give more than this, you can't spend more than that. And the bigger issue for me is that, like I said last night, why have we not had a workshop to talk on this where every commissioner can have some input? That was not provided for. It was no, this is going, and there's not going to be a workshop. There's not going to be an executive session. It's a yes or no vote.
Who placed this on the agenda? Was it the city of Brownsville, the city attorney, or was it proposed by one of the individuals sitting on the city commission, or a couple of them?
It's posted as coming from the city's attorney's office. I don't believe for 1 second that the city attorney just decided all of a sudden, I'm going to propose 3 new ordinances for the city. The city attorney's office doesn't do that. I'm sure they are being made the scapegoats in this. And I think it's ridiculous that whoever's proposing these doesn't have the courage of conviction to stand up and say, this is what I'm proposing.
Do you suspect, or do you have an idea as to who on the city commission was?
Absolutely.
Was it the mayor?
I'm not commenting on that at this point.
Was it your opponent?
No, I don't think it was my opponent.
Okay. And I make mention of this because for me, and maybe you could explain this a little bit better. To me, it makes sense to have a cap on expenses in regards to individual. And look, at the end of the day, we all know that there's ways around it. There's always ways around it. And what happens is it starts to make it even more shady.
Exactly.
More shady. And
honestly, who finds the workarounds and works the workarounds?
Well,
the people who are going to be shady.
Well,
so it's better to me to the way we have it today, where every donation has to be reported. You put it on your finance report and everything's transparent. But to say that, well, no, you can't do these things this way anymore. Now people are going to find workarounds, and those who are more crafty and more creative and have more resources at their disposal, they're going to be the ones exploiting those.
But won't those be more easily caught?
How you going to put it this way? How are you going to prove it?
Well, let me ask this: what are the consequences for individuals that opt to spend more than $100,000 when they're running for mayor of the city of Brownsville?
A $500 fine. Exactly.
That makes no sense.
Exactly.
That makes no sense. Again, one of the things, and I recently ran for mayor of the city of Brownsville, like I run for almost everything else around here. But I ran for mayor of the city of Brownsville. I mean, I didn't spend more than $500.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't spend more than $500. Nada. I think the mayor probably spent close to $200,000. I think.
I'm sure it was 6 figures.
Yeah, I think Jessica Tetreault spent like $250,000, $250,000. I saw a picture of y'all two together the other day.
Yes, I ran into her.
And so, again, these individuals have access to getting these huge donations, or these multiple donations from different individuals or different companies or different corporations out there. I said, isn't an Erasmo Castro at a disadvantage? Erasmo Castro that cannot, raise $100,000 from vendors and companies. Wouldn't this help Erasmo Castro in regards to being able to compete with individuals that have millions of dollars to spend?
No.
Why?
Because you're talking about having to go up against people that have those means at their disposal.
Yeah, but
if you're talking about 2 average citizens of Brownsville, then it doesn't matter whether donors can give 50,000 or can give 5,000 or 500. It doesn't matter. But if you're talking about somebody who has huge amounts of disposable wealth, against an average citizen of Brownsville, then does it matter if they can get donations or not?
Well, to me, it matters a little bit because one of the things that I've always stated, the individuals that have these kind of contacts, no one gives you 10, 20, $30,000 for a campaign out of the kindness of their heart.
No, you're absolutely wrong on that. You are 100% wrong on that.
Again, I don't have friends that have 20, 30,000, except Victor Caballero that spent $40,000 on a recount. I don't have friends that have 20, $30,000 to say, hey, I want something for nothing. Here's
and what did you give? What did you give Victor in return?
Well, I didn't give him anything. I didn't spend.
What did he ask for in return?
The recount, $40,000 for the recount.
No, what did he ask for from you to pay for that recount?
Well, no, he wanted the position on the board of trustees.
Uh-huh.
But that came out of his funds. I was actually trying to make a joke out of it, but I don't have individuals that have that type of money to say, hey, Erasmo, I don't think Georgina's out there is going to say, Erasmo, here's a $10,000 check, go run for mayor of the city of Brownsville. I'd love for them to do that, but doesn't it make sense, Commissioner, based on the net the average here of money that people make here in the city of Brownsville, to cap it at a certain amount and say, hey guys, look at the medium here in the city of Brownsville. I mean, the medium here is what, $20,000 a year, 25,
no, 20. It's higher than that by now.
Well, something. So let's say $30,000 a year. Why is a candidate who's going to be representing the people of Brownsville able to spend $200,000-300,000 in a race?
Why are we even talking about that point? You and I agree that putting a limit on how much you can spend total, there's nothing wrong with that. I support that. That's not what I was against last night.
I mean, you can
that's
spend.
Not where the damage is done to the people.
You can spend all the money you want. My concern is is that money coming from?
It shouldn't matter who it's coming from.
Well, it should matter because
unless they're a contractor doing business with the city, which definitely should be a concern. But that's the thing. If you look at the campaign reports today, and you can have reports where, well, I might have got a donation from XYZ law firm, but guess what? When the vote came up for the contract, I awarded it to ABC because they were the best bidder.
Yeah.
So unless you can show a pattern of, look, this commissioner always votes for these three companies, and those are the three companies that donated to them, and they never award contracts to anybody else, then that absolutely looks corrupt. But you can't point to one example of that in this administration in the current day.
I don't know. I think that I lived this throughout my BISD years, where the individuals that were on the board were collecting money from vendors, from the insurance companies, collecting money from the software folks, collecting money under the table. The biggest concern, and again, going back,
the key there is under the table. Those under the table contributions will never show up on a campaign finance report, which means this law does nothing to fix problems like that, like corruption.
No, it doesn't at all. But what does? It's like, and again, and I make mention of this because back then we knew that some insurance companies were putting money, the taxing entities, Linebarger and Purdue, they were putting money into the different elected officials' campaigns, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Purdue, struggled for a while because they were still dishing out crap loads of cash. And then finally, now they're the number one tax collecting entity here locally.
No, they've got BISD. That's the only contract they've got that I'm aware of.
No, I think they have the county.
I'm not sure if they do.
And they're trying to get into the city.
They've got the contract for the city for municipal court fees. So if you don't pay your parking ticket and it goes into collections, they're going to collect on your parking ticket.
Yeah,
but the property tax collections, that's still Linebarger.
Oh, well, but again, they're inching. Well, right now, I think just with BISD, Commissioner,
And here's another good example. The EMS collection, that was awarded to MVBA. And that's a firm out of Austin. And I'm not aware of them making any contributions to anyone.
Well,
and they got a contract.
Again, going back into the shady thing. We lived it during my time at the BISD, where, a commissioner was actually brought forward. A trustee was out there, getting a couple $10,000, which I don't think is a lot. $10,000. Good morning, gentlemen.
That was soliciting $10,000.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't just somebody offered him a bribe. That was someone who was asked from a constituent for something that they have the capacity to do as the elected official and have an obligation to. And they're like, well, no, if I'm going to do this for you, I want $10,000. That's a corrupt individual, and I'm glad the FBI was on that.
Yeah, right too. Commissioner Santos, why is the man-made lake at the Brownsville Golf Center behind my house empty and contains no water anymore? Is that District 4?
No, that's District 3. The Brownsville Golf Center is at the Country Club. That's my district. And I have no idea. I would assume it's for lack of rainfall.
Is it?
Brownsville Country Club?
No, but Brownsville Golf Center, isn't that one over there on VICC area?
No, VICC is
Yeah,
privately owned.
Por está Denny's. No, por está Denny's. Por Media Luna, no? I don't know.
Oh, is that the
Isn't that
Brownsville Golf Center?
Isn't that the Brownsville Golf Center, the one that you
The one on the frontage road?
Yeah.
It may be. That's still District 3. If you're between Ruben Torres and Boca Chica, everything from Central Boulevard to Paredes is District 3.
Let me ask you, Commissioner. I believe all city entities need these matters addressed. I think the campaign finance reform. I'll agree with you that I would expect a greater conversation in regards to let's have a workshop where everyone could
and we're being denied that. The elected representatives of the people are being denied that because the little clique that has their 4 votes says no. We're not going to talk about it.
Let me ask you this. I mean, why isn't it that most individuals out there, don't encourage individuals to come out to the meetings? I have yet to hear anyone on the city commission say, hey guys, we've got these important topics coming up, because this campaign finance reform, I would have loved for it to be a complete workshop where you could have input from the public and input from everyone on the city commission, but have a little bit more discussion on I think it's a very, very important matter. Personally, very, very important matter. And you should have a little bit more of information in regards to it. But I would really like for commissioners out there to go out there and say, hey, guys, we're going to have these workshops the same way that they do these little photo ops of the mayor going out there to events that usually are flopped anyway. I'd like them to go out there. We haven't heard from Mayor Cowan.
One, it's not going to happen. The only public hearing opportunities you're going to have are those required by law. Like last night, they had to have a public hearing on it because this is an ordinance. And then, of course, you saw, well, the meeting gets moved up to 2 p.m. So that public hearing happens before 5 p.m. So when most people are still at work, that was your chance to go comment on it, and you missed it.
Well, that was my concern when we were the district was trying to increase the amount. The school district, way before I was a board member, they were trying to increase the tax out there, and they had it at noon. I said, guys, nobody's going to be out here at noon. Actual taxpayers are actually out there working in order to pay their damn taxes. You got to have it at a time where it's accessible to most people here in the city, not everyone, but most people in the city of Brownsville. Not have it at 12 o'clock. So in that respect, I agree with you. Good morning. Good morning. Let me ask you something, Commissioner. There was recently a backpack distribution that y'all had this past weekend.
Yes.
It was down southmost at the Lopez Ranch.
Correct.
I was asked, and I said, I do not know. This event was sponsored by yourself,
multiple sponsors.
Commissioner Brian Martinez, and it had Sombrero Fest and the city of Brownsville at the Lopez Ranch. So my question is there a correlation between it in regards to support, and what type of support was received by each entity?
What do you mean by each entity?
Well, the entities that were on the poster, we had the city of Brownsville, Sombrero Fest, and 2 commissioners.
Well, the city of Brownsville is not the city of Brownsville proper. It's just Commissioner Roy de los Santos or the office of Commissioner Roy de los Santos.
No, they had the logo of the city of Brownsville on there.
That's not anything they received from my office. And as you guys know, and as you know well, you can go to the internet right now and copy this image and copy that image all you want and use it. That doesn't mean it's, the city of Brownsville is doing something official.
Well, again, and maybe there should have been some clarification in regards to guys, because I know when we were running for, when I was running for city commissioner, mayor, or one of those, I can't remember. But, we're specifically told, guys, you cannot use this logo of the city of Brownsville. And we're like, well, I am the city of Brownsville. We are the city of Brownsville, but you cannot use it because, it makes a statement that you're representing the city. did you have concerns that maybe individuals were going to associate or think that the city of Brownsville was also sponsoring this event as a city?
Not at all.
So you think it was okay to put it on the poster?
No, it probably wasn't appropriate to put on the poster, but we're giving school supplies away to kids that are needy for
Yeah, yeah.
free. So
Yeah, yeah.
seriously, this is what people are worried about in this
Well,
day
well,
and age?
well, the ends don't justify the means. And again, I'm very very grateful. And again, I promoted the event multiple times because I wanted individuals to have a place to go and get these. My not my concern, but I think the concern of a lot of the folks out there was, is the questions in regards to what is the city of Brownsville's role in this event,
No role at all.
is it an event that is promoting the campaign of Commissioner Los Santos running for at large district, or was it? And look and look, I do this, guys. My next posters for BISD are going to have myself in with my work clothes on there. You know, that's the way my posters are going to look. Why? Because I want individuals to associate Erasmo Castro, marries people, and and it's a conservative year for conservatives to come out, and he looks very conservative on there. So it's a play on things. It's like, oh, people can associate it any which way they want. But that's the way my poster. I actually sent the thing to be made today. So again, do you think maybe like Lena, no, okay, you guys, let's not use this? And I'll tell you what happened, Commissioner. And again, yo digo todo. Um, Commissioner Pedro Cardenas, I don't know if he posted it or something, but he shared a Pedro Cardenas for city commissioner at large, and it had the silhouette of the Market Square place. And I immediately said, I don't think you could use that.
I think we can.
Well, again, I don't
think about it this way. If I want to go downtown to Market Square and send up my drone and take a picture of Market Square and create a campaign logo with that, that's legal. This is America. Anything that's in public view, you can take a picture of. And you can't say I'm officially endorsed by the city of Brownsville.
Well, again, wouldn't it be trying to associate? And I said this. I said it's going to look like you're trying.
It's no different than if people are running for school board, they put chalkboards in school books. If people are running for Port of Brownsville, they put boats and anchors. If you're running for the city, you're going to put things that are iconic and identified with the city.
Chalkboards are not the official logo of the BISD.
Neither is the silhouette of Market Square.
I think it is. Isn't it trademarked?
The logo is trademarked, but to say the silhouette of Market Square is trademarked and no one can use that silhouette, absolutely not.
Perfect. Okay, I'll buy that.
Public domain.
I'll buy that. I'll buy that for $1. Por abajo la mesa. It is to prevent flooding issues because of. Is it? That's the
preliminary part of that we're missing.
No, that's the same question to the Brownsville Golf Club Resaca or Lake.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
No, I know that water levels in Resacas are typically lowered ahead of an anticipated big rain event, that there's plenty of room for water runoff, but I don't think we have any anticipated rain events right now that would justify a body being emptied. So I don't know, again, do we know that was it proactively emptied? Did it just run dry? And it could be that maybe there's work that needs to be done in the area and that's why it was emptied. So no, those are something we'd have to look at.
Why doesn't downtown begin paying their taxes so that taxes aren't raised for the rest of the city? And I think
since when is Brownsville or downtown not paying taxes? I'm not aware of that.
They're not paying taxes. They're not paying taxes
on what?
Based on being historical district.
No, sir. If you look at every year, there's several properties that the city commission has to approve to have as exempt properties, and that's nowhere near the total of numbers of downtown properties.
Well, let me ask you this: are several former city commission members who own property downtown, are they paying taxes on their buildings downtown?
I believe some are and some are not, because in fact there were several buildings owned by the former commissioner for District 1 that were removed from the tax exempt rolls because not enough progress was being made towards historical restoration.
Why haven't we started to restore La 14?
We don't own La 14.
Well, y'all don't own a lot of those buildings downtown either.
And we're not restoring them. That's not the city of Brownsville.
Well, I'd like to know what individuals out there. LNG permit got denied. What are your thoughts?
I had not heard that. Is that for Texas or for Rio Grande?
I had not heard either.
Let's see. I'm Googling right now.
Good. Now I'm wanting to Google.
News. I don't see that anywhere in the news. The articles that come up are from earlier in the year. But you would think if that was breaking news, that would be like one of the first stories that pops up for me, and I don't see it.
I don't see it either. I'm not sure what it is. Roy, how come you did not respond to my comment about people not having lawn equipment to cut their own grass?
Because I have to look into that issue. I haven't had time yet.
Oh, I did, dude.
That's about creating little hubs throughout the city of Brownsville and stocking it with lawn equipment and letting people rent it out.
Yeah.
So one, you'd have to identify sites. Two, you'd have to have a pool of money to buy all this stuff proactively up front. Then you have to have people to staff it. And as we know, like even right now, our city employees are out there trying to catch up with the overgrowth we've got with grass to deal with the mosquito situation.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a suggestion that was just made a day or two ago. Give it some time, Gene.
Yeah. Let me say, we're Mexican. We're good at cutting grass.
Thank you for that. DC Circuit Court.
Nosotros los mexicanos siempre tenemos, podemos cortar el zacate, aunque sea con el machete. We're known for cutting grass. So, Commissioner, how's the race going for your city commission?
I will not start the race until after the first of the year. Right now, the focus should be on the presidential elections and the school district elections.
Come on. You've already started campaigning.
How?
Because you're already out there at events. You can always tell when a party.
I'm always at events as city commissioner, and I've been getting that for 3 years consistently. Commissioner, we see you everywhere. I get that.
En las chanclas.
I am at no more events today than I was last year, the year before that.
Pero en las chanclas, I think you started to use less chanclas now. Are you having an issue with your toenails now?
No. I usually dress up for city commission meetings, and I'm in the chanclas most of the time. When we did the unveiling of the statue of Amelia Earhart at Dean Porter Park, I was in chanclas, and it was outdoors at a park. Shorts and chanclas are appropriate.
I say that while I'm wearing my chanclas.
And I'm wearing mine.
I'm wearing my, of course, like I'm only wearing my crazy cat lady chanclas, Commissioner.
Nice.
My quilted ones.
Gene, I'm still looking at on the DC court. I'm not finding it yet.
We'll see what happens. We'll be good. Commissioner, I know you have limited time today. You've got a couple of meetings that you need to rush off to. Anything else that happened at the city commission meeting real quick that we should know about?
Not that I can think of.
So you mentioned the click of four. What are your thoughts about the 4-3? Usually the 4-3 majority type of situation.
Ask that one more time.
You mentioned the four individuals that were on that little click on the city commission. What is your take on being on the bottom rung of the 4-3?
Well, that's where I've always been. I think you can even remember votes where I was a 6-1 vote and I was the one. And my thing is, I don't call my peers up before meetings and talk about anything that's going to be on the agenda. If I get a call, I won't turn it away unless I know they've already spoken to more than 2 commissioners, because I don't want walking quorum. But I believe that deliberations should happen in that room. The public should be able to see them. So that's where I have my discussions. And whatever it is, I look at it on face value. And if I think it's good for the city, I'm going to support it. If I think it's bad for the city, I'm going to deny it.
This is a good question. And I would say, PUB is constantly going out there and bitching about conserve water, while you have all these businesses that are sprinkling water even when it rains. And you have all these car washes popping up. And I know that there was a new ordinance that said you can't have one 500 feet from the other one. It doesn't matter. Are we going to continue to be bitching about conserving water while the city, large businesses out there are just like peeing it over all over the place?
Are people going to continue bitching? Probably.
No. Is PUB going to continue bitching about that?
PUB's not bitching. PUB says these are the laws, and there's going to be surcharges on water. And if somebody sees somebody in violation, you need to report it.
PUB is a bitch.
This is not, the city of Brownsville is not a daycare center where we have to have everything done for us. We as citizens have an obligation also to act. And that's why I love Gene's suggestion about let's empower the citizens. Let's make lawn equipment available to them and make them responsible for going out and cutting, but helping them out if they can't afford it. That's the right attitude. That's the right way to approach things.
It will be in
But for
Matamoros.
people to just complain and whine, why isn't the city? Why isn't the city? Why isn't the city? Well, what are you doing as a citizen? What are you doing to contribute to society, not just for yourself?
Well, those lawn equipment is going to be in Matamoros like in the week, like our ambulances, Commissioner. What's your take on the ambulance situation? What happened, bro?
I have not got the full report yet, but everything I've seen, which I think has been pretty consistent, is that that there was a complaint of somebody in distress. EMS shows up on site. I don't know if there were any procedures or protocols that were not followed, but the individual was able to jump in the ambulance and take off.
Hey, Commissioner,
And we saw the video at the bridge where he was even running through the bridge over the big speed humps and everything.
crazy.
Estaba volando.
Before you go,
Yes.
Commissioner,
And I'm not in any hurry. I can be late to the event. That's okay. I like talking to citizens.
Commissioner Pedro Cardenas went out there and posted in regards to all this money that BCIC, and let me tell you, BCIC is a bitch. BCIC is out there giving to all these people. Commissioner, why is it that it's constantly the same individuals getting these monies?
It's not constantly the same individuals getting the monies first and
Come on.
foremost. For that to be true, that means there can be no one else than those. And we all know that's a lot.
There isn't no one else. And this is what happens, Commissioner. They set the guidelines to where only certain amount of individuals will qualify. Look, I've sent requests for BCIC and I've always gotten turned down. We've had a business here locally, Commissioner, something in the same place for 40 some years, have a building, have everything. They always shut us down.
What type of grant are you applying for?
All of them. I did the rental one, and I did the improvement one, and I did the facade. Now I sound like
I know I got a report recently of grant recipients. Hang on
Now-
just a second. Let me
now
pull
I sound
that.
like Commissioner Santos. Facade. You know what I'm referring to, right?
Oh, I know what you're referring to. You were in that speech last June.
And you know, nothing but the same individuals, La Ramblas, Los Limas, the Fruyas, the Six Silvas, they are always on those lists.
They are not always on those lists.
Oh,
So let me
on.
read this one. This is the first list that is on this sheet. Come on, shrink.
Why do people down Alton Glory in your district, Commissioner, why don't they qualify for a lot of these grants?
Depends on what the grant is.
Well, they're all the same.
I know a business on Central Boulevard that got a grant, and I know especially the grant that we gave out at the beginning of the year. Businesses all over the city got those grants.
Which ones?
The $10,000 grant. I'll pull the list for you.
I don't think it's true.
See, like this one is what is it? I'm just looking for the list. This is the eBridge Fund loan portfolio.
I hate
The
BCIC.
The
I hate
Roast House, JZD, America Instrument,
downtown.
Todo Natural,
Downtown.
Del Mar. No, I'm not talking about downtown. You're saying it's the same people. I haven't heard Ramblas. I haven't heard
It's on the
Mendez.
list.
I haven't heard any of those names on this list yet.
It's on there.
No, it's not. Not on this grant. That's why it's not on every grant.
What grant is that?
It says the eBridge Loan Fund or the eBridge Fund loan portfolio. Had a 1.75 budget. That was federal, and 500,000 that was non-federal.
Well,
Todo Natural, Del Mar Marisquera, Valley Tire Recycling Center, Cero Grados, the Discount Pharmacy, Pluton Brewery, Body Fuel Fitness,
all downtown.
Eight Family Friends, Amori Pan, that's over at North Park Plaza, and Warbler Coffee Company, that's off 6th Street. So not one Limas on there, no Mendez on there, none of the ones that everybody says it's always these same people. They're not even on this list. So
Yeah,
no, they are not on every list. They do not get every grant. That's a complete misrepresentation. But why do they get grants more often? Because they have a proven track record. It's just like saying, why does GT Paving get so many contracts for street paving? Why don't you give another company a chance? Well, GT Paving has an excellent record of building streets. And we have companies, and we've seen this before, where we contract somebody new, and in 6 months, the street's all torn up, it's all mud, and they've gone broke. And the citizens are left in a mess. And then we have to hire somebody reputable to come in and clean up that mess. So when reputable companies can deliver a return on investment, that's why you see their names pop up over and over.
The day that Erasmo Castro is able to compete with the Limas with 1848 in order to get a piece of a small little pie of our tax dollars, then I might say like, oh well, yeah, maybe, but I say Erasmo Castro not because it's Erasmo Castro, but I'm talking about every other Joe Blow out there that has small business that actually has
There are
no.
small businesses on this list.
They have no. They have no access to a lot of these crap that they ask for in regards to getting a CPA, getting a 5-year plan, and everything else. It's never out there.
Oh, I'm sorry, but most especially in today's world with Chat GPT and these artificial things, you can come up with a business plan. You can do a 5-year plan. You can do all of that.
Are you calling me
And
old?
yes.
Brazil is run by a few. That's a reality, 100%, no doubt.
That's a bad reality. Yes.
Yeah. Will the southmost library ever be finished? I was at McAllen Library. It's huge. We have 3 libraries. What's
What's
missing?
pending?
Yeah.
I don't know what's pending at the Southmost Library. I know there are plans to expand,
I think
but I'm not aware that it's unfinished in any
Yeah.
way, shape, or form.
yeah, the southmost library is amazing. Have they sprayed for mosquitoes lately?
They have been spraying, to the best of my knowledge. The whole city has not been done, and I'll be the first to say we are doing a horrible job at keeping the public informed of what's going on with regard to that. I've talked to the team; they are going to be stepping up efforts.
Yeah, we've already asked in regards to the overgrown grass. The city of Brownsville cannot keep up. Is there a plan in order to help them keep up? It really is crazy. I mean, the city a lot of times looks like a monte.
No, I'm sure it's going to come down. It's going to be the same problem. If we decided, okay, in order to get caught up, we're going to have to bring in private contractors. Well, any yard guy you call right now who does landscaping, they're telling you, I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch up with my customers. Because even if you have your house where you're set to cut every 2 weeks, well, when you've got a lot of rainfall, guess what? In this 2-week period, it's a lot longer than it usually is 6 months ago.
I'm still fighting to get right of access for property game bounce around. Yeah, that. Trust me, Daniel, if you live in one of those properties that is a checkerboard where it's county, city, you're screwed. Trust me, I know. We were fighting for that when we were trying to get sidewalks for Lopez High School. Los Santos sounds reasonable.
Always.
No. Not always. Show me those chess money for a chess plaza.
Oh, that I would get behind. I love that they just had a chess event at the Broken Sprocket this past weekend. It had my full support and sponsorship. I didn't get a chance to make it out there. But yeah, I learned to play chess when I was in 6th grade. My teacher recognized that he needed to keep me busy, otherwise I'd get mischievous. And it was Frederick William Forrester was my teacher.
I challenge you to a chess match.
Let's do that next time we go have lunch or breakfast. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to be.
You can't brag online if you beat me, though.
Well, you better believe I'm going to brag like a crazy man. Give me the mowing equipment and gas, and I'll do it. That's a good initiative. Why don't we have a program out there like one Saturdays have a volunteer to cut the grass in the city of Brownsville, and invite people. I don't know if it's an insurance thing or a liability thing.
But well, definitely, I mean, we have programs like that already where volunteers come in and they're given supplies to do different projects around the city. Just this past weekend, I saw kids out there painting the wall at the old city cemetery side by side with the Parks and Rec employees. So I know they do bring in volunteer groups to do certain things. But yeah, being able to turn somebody loose with a lawnmower or a weed eater, we've got to be more careful with that.
I'll coach you chess, Chase. Woo! Nice. Perfect. I'm ready.
No, he's going to coach me before, so I kick your butt.
No, let's no coaching. I mean, I know how to play chess. I actually think I'm halfway decent. But no coaching.
I'm out of practice.
We'll film it out there, and we'll see.
Oh yeah, so we're filming it now.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
We're going live.
Who did I challenge? I think I challenged someone to a boxing match. We wanted Captain Bob and Zeke Silva to go at it at a boxing match. Your friend Captain Bob.
Oh yes, I remember that.
And Bob accepted. He said, "Yeah, hell, shrimp capital of the world. I'll fight Zeke." And Zeke said, "No." Es el commissioner de las chanclitas.
Hey, de Los Santos, Claudia, ¿somos primos?
Probably. Claudia actually got me some boots one time. Nice. She might get you some chanclas. Volunteers or inmates?
No, these were kids. These were volunteers. I know they do like if you've got people who are assigned community service, they send them out to volunteer, usually at nonprofits. But the work that I saw this weekend was definitely like either a school group or a nonprofit group. It wasn't community service, and it definitely wasn't inmates.
Do the 12 apostles support Mayor Cowan? The answer is yes.
Who are the 12 apostles you're talking about?
You don't know the 12? Come on.
I don't. You're not talking about the Bible,
Oh
are
my
you?
God.
Are you talking about the Bible? Or
No.
is there a group that you all refer to as the 12 apostles?
There's a group, the St. Joe apostles.
Oh, no, I have no idea.
You're joking. You
I'm
don't
a
know that
South
there's
Coast kid. Remember, I went to Palm Grove.
that there's a 12 apostles. There's this St. Joe little mafia little group that go out there and they pool their funds and they'll support the different candidates. You didn't know about the 12 PS?
I did not know about the 12
St. Joe
apostles.
12.
You're gonna have to send me a list of who they are.
I can send that to you. It was kind of trippy because I got invited to an event one time by the 12 apostles, and they were like freaking out, like, "What the hell is Erasmo Castro doing at a meeting? One of the because they have meetings at one of their Ku Klux Klan little houses, and they wear hoods and all this crap, and you walk in there and it's like Satan walked in. And I'm going like, hey, but they were the 12 apostles. Of course, I've never received support from them. They hated me. The only reason I think is because one of them is a friend of mine. He's kind of trippy. He's a friend of mine, Joey Lopez. He's a friend of mine, and I ran against him. A friend of mine, and again, invited me over, and they were very, very surprised to see Erasmo Castro there. But cool. I'm surprised you didn't know about the 12 apostles. $20 a pound challenge. I'm game.
I'm not playing for money. I always lose when I play for money.
Just name the 12 apostles so they all know who they are. Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John.
I think you referred to the St. Joe ones. Let me tell you, last one. Do you think it's time for the St. Joe Mafia, the Mexican Mafia, and the St. Joe Buchonas to come together and to stop supporting these candidates that are ultimately out for themselves and not for the city of Brownsville as a whole?
I think every citizen has an obligation to ensure we are only supporting candidates who are going to ask the tough questions, make the tough decisions, look into everything. We can't just sit there and tell staff, hey, you guys tell me what am I supposed to do? Because staff has their areas of expertise, but as the elected representatives of the people, we have an obligation to trust but verify before we make that final decision. Not just whatever staff says, we're going to rubber stamp it. Entonces, ¿para qué estamos ahí?
But you don't know who the 12 apostles are.
I don't. That's why you're going to introduce me.
I do. Commissioner Santos, you take yours, I'll take mine.
There you go.
So, Commissioner Santos, last words to you, my man.
Stay involved, stay engaged. I am not interested in doubling or tripling or quadrupling the number of people that turn out to vote unless they know what they're going in there to vote for. It can't be about the numbers. It has to be about an informed electorate, educated voters that want to see positive change for the city. That's who we need coming out. We need you guys to start looking more, watching more throughout the year so that when it's election time, you go out there and make sure we put the right people in office.
Yeah, guys, I agree. Stay informed, become a part of the electoral process, and take a couple of minutes out of your day, to reach out to elected officials, ask questions, and have them respond, and ask them again. And you have to become. Nothing is going to change in the city of Brownsville until individuals get off their ass and get off their computers and start being a part of the process. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Commissioner.
No, thank you.
Guys, have a great day. Commissioner's freaking out.
Thank you. The timing was good, and let me know.
Guys, have a great day. Again, we'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. Be good to each other. Continue to be. God bless.